Hey there, welcome to the Chronicle's Weekly Wrap, your one-stop shop for everything that happened this week in Duke sports. My name is Hoerger, filling in for Jack Dolgen. Jack took his talents and our microphones to New York City this weekend to cover some men's basketball at Madison Square Garden, which we'll get to in a second. Got a lot of stuff to talk to you about today. We're going to start off with field hockey. Duke field hockey was in the Final Four the second time in 3 years the Blue Devils have qualified for the final weekend, and they took on our rival North Carolina on Friday afternoon. For the second straight season, the Blue Devils season came to an end at the hand of the Tar Heels. A 2-0 win for North Carolina set the Tar Heels on to the championship game that was held on Sunday, where they eventually lost to top-ranked Syracuse. So the Blue Devils season ends 2 wins short of a national championship, and it's the end of the road for several important Duke seniors. Goalkeeper Lauren Blazing, Eileen Johnson, Amanda Kim, lots of people who had a major role in this year's Duke field hockey team. So a great season for the Blue Devils, but it comes up just short on the season's final weekend. Moving on to women's soccer, those Blue Devils are still playing. They headed down to Gainesville, Florida this weekend, took on Florida Gulf Coast in the round of 32 on Friday, and emerged with a 2-0 win. Second half goals by Melinda Allen and Christina Gibbons sent the Blue Devils on to the Sweet 16. Blue Devils then faced number 2 seed and host Florida on Sunday afternoon, and again they got down early 1-0, but they staged a comeback. Rebecca Quinn notched the equalizer in the first half, and then freshman Taylor Rasiopi continued her stellar start to the campaign. She attacked on the game-winning goal in the second half, and Duke wound up winning that one 2-1. Duke is now on to the Elite Eight for the 6th time in the last 10 years. They're going to head to Palo Alto during Thanksgiving break, and they're going to take on Stanford, the top seed in the region, on Friday evening with a chance to advance to the Final Four. Which will be right back here in the Triangle in Cary during the last week of classes here at Duke. Now on to men's basketball. The Blue Devils had 3 games in 6 days, really arduous stretch for the Blue Devils to kick off their season. Suffered their first loss of the year, 74-63, number 2 Kentucky in the Champions Classic in Chicago on Tuesday. It was a night to forget for several Blue Devils. Grayson Allen, Brandon Ingram, Luke Kennard combined to shoot 3 of 22 from the field in a game that the Wildcats really led almost from start to finish. Marshall Plumlee kept Duke in the game early, finished with a double-double, but it just wasn't enough. It was not sustainable once the Wildcats started cleaning up on the boards. Then Duke traveled to Madison Square Garden, New York on Friday and took down VCU 79-71 in a resurgent performance for Grayson Allen. Came off the bench after his poor outing against Kentucky and scored a career-high 30 points. But it was not his career high for long, because on Sunday he came right back against Georgetown and dropped 32 on the Hoyas, and Duke held on to that one 86-84 to bring home the 2K Classic Championship back to Durham. Duke's going to be back in action twice during Thanksgiving break, Wednesday night against Yale, and then Sunday afternoon against Utah State here at Cameron Indoor Stadium. Now, women's basketball, they also suffered their first loss of the year, 72-66 Wednesday loss in overtime to number 12 Texas A&M here in Durham. Really close contest throughout. Duke had a big lead, Texas A&M had a big lead, it went to overtime, and the Aggies were just too much for the Blue Devils in the extra session. Matt Jones' older sister, Jordan Jones, had 14 points for the Aggies in that win. Rebecca Greenwell had 22 for the Blue Devils in the loss. Then on Sunday, Duke came back and they faced an Army team that came out on fire. Army had a bunch of threes in the first quarter, took a 9-point lead at one point, but then Azurá Stevens took over. The sophomore for the Blue Devils ended up with a career-high 32 points and 14 rebounds for a monster double-double, made 14 of her 18 shots, and held the Blue Devils to a 72-61 win. So Duke women are now 3-1 on the year, and they're going to head to Cancun for Thanksgiving break. They're playing a tournament there Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Now, moving on to football, the Blue Devils skid continues. Duke lost 42-34 at Virginia Saturday afternoon in Charlottesville. Duke shot itself in the foot early and often. 3 turnovers of the 21 Virginia points. Virginia got up 21-0 in that game, and the Blue Devils could really never fully recover. Devon Edwards took a kickoff return back to the house, his third of the year to get the Blue Devils on the board, and there was a nice fourth quarter spurt by backup quarterback Parker Boehm. Found TJ Roming for a couple of big pass plays. Roming ended up with 190 yards and a touchdown on the day, but it just wasn't enough for the Blue Devils. They've now lost 4 straight, and they close out their regular season next weekend at Wake Forest. So, moving on to volleyball, the Blue Devils went to South Florida looking to avenge 2 regular season losses from earlier in October, and they got the first one done with no problems. They swept Miami 3-0 down in Coral Gables, thanks in part to their blocking. Duke had 22 blocks on the afternoon, including 7 by middle blocker Jordan Tucker. Then on Sunday, Duke traveled to Tallahassee, take on number 20 Florida State, hoping to avenge that regular season loss as well in October, and they came up just short. Duke took the opening set, but then the Seminoles took the next three, and the Florida State held off the Blue Devils for a 3-1 win there. So Duke is now still facing an uphill battle on its quest to get back into the NCAA tournament. Cross country. Graduate student Sean Thompson closed out his cross country career with 95th place finish at the NCAA Championship Saturday in Louisville. He had been gunning for All-American status, which would have required him to get into the top 40. So he had looked great through the first couple of kilometers, but then kind of fell apart down the stretch. His back cramped up on him a bit. He wasn't able to have the final kick that he wanted. So still absolutely fantastic season for Thompson. He's now getting ready for outdoor track season, and as he sets his eyes on qualifying for the 2016 Olympic trials in the 10,000 meters. Moving on to swimming, the Blue Devils were over in Chapel Hill this weekend. They took to the course at the Nike Cup Invitational, and they really dominated for much of the weekend. The Duke men ended up winning the competition. They amassed 1,721 points. The Duke women led up until the final race. They ultimately finished in second in North Carolina with 1,769 points. Big weekend for the Blue Devils in the pool. Peter Kropp, Kaz Kobayashi, Leah Goldman, Maddie Rush, all doing their thing. Records were falling left and right. A really good, another strong performance for the Blue Devils as they closed out their fall slate in style in Chapel Hill. Finally, wrestling was over in Raleigh at the Wolfpack Open at NC State. Didn't have the big guns in Connor Hartman and Jake Faust. They were seeing this one out. But Zach Feinsilver had a nice showing as a redshirt freshman. Took second place in his weight class. The Blue Devils had 3 third-place finishes and 2 other fourth-place finishes. So a nice end of the fall season for the Blue Devil wrestlers as well. They're going to take some time off from competition. They're going to get back at it September 15th against Appalachian State. So a huge weekend in Duke sports. Women's soccer is still alive in the Elite Eight NCAA tournament. Men's basketball right to the ship after the loss to Kentucky. Women's basketball bounces back from its first loss with a nice win on Sunday. Make sure to follow us at Duke Chronicle on Twitter, at Chronicle Sports on Twitter, and at DukeChronicle.com for all your in-depth coverage of Blue Devil sports.